Hello everyone, this is Dr. Karthik. I'm a ENT consultant and a head and neck oncosurgeon working in TX hospitals. I just wanted to discuss something called as chronic suppurative otitis media, that is called as CSOM. What do you mean basically by CSOM? CSOM means something like it's called a perforation of your eardrum, or eardrum is also called as tympanic membrane. So how does it happen and what are the causes of it? That is what we need to know about it. So basically any chronic, as the name suggests, chronic suppurative otitis media. Otitis media means some inflammation, some infection in the middle ear, and chronic means when the symptoms or the duration of the symptoms are more than 3 months, that is when it's called as chronic. And suppuration means it's something related to the infection and inflammation when some pus or some discharge comes out from the middle ear. Okay, so the main causes of CSOM is whenever there is inflammation of middle ear. So that indicates how does the middle ear gets infected. So you need to know one of the primary causes of middle ear infection is any nasal blockage, any nasal congestion, or any eustachian tube blockage, which indirectly causes negative impact, negative pressure, and that results in negative pressure in the middle ear, and that causes inflammation in the middle ear and increases the pressure of the tympanic membrane and perforates it. So always a chronic suppurative is preceded with an acute attack. Okay, so basically what are the symptoms and how do the patients present with? As before discussing the symptoms, we need to know the types of CSOM. There are basically two types. One is called the safe type, the other one is an unsafe. In medical terminology, the safe is called the tubotympanic disease and the unsafe is called the atticoantral disease. Why it is called the safe disease? Safe disease means when the perforation is in the center of the tympanic membrane, and it's also called as a mucosal type of a CSOM. Margins of the perforation is easily visible and the perforation is in the center of the tympanic membrane. That is when we call it as a tubotympanic disease. And what about an atticoantral disease? Atticoantral disease, when the perforation is marginal, it is involving the posterior superior quadrant or the attic area. So that is when it's called an atticoantral disease, when the disease is involving the attic and the mastoid antrum, and which is also associated with a marginal perforation in the posterior superior quadrant. So what are the symptoms of it? The patient basically comes with ear discharge, foul smelling ear discharge, tinnitus. Tinnitus is also called also known as a ringing sensation in the ear, along with hearing loss and hearing impairment, and along with very few cases have a little bit of pain, but majority of the CSOM patients doesn't have any pain as such. So how do you investigate it? Investigation is very simple. It's examination under microscope. You need to examine the ear under the microscope. If at all there is any discharge, send the discharge or the pus for culture sensitivity. Do a proper oral toileting or syringing or suction clearance, and clear the pus and examine the findings. What is the type of perforation? And apart from culture sensitivity and examination under microscope, there is one more test called as a putone audiogram. So putone audiogram, you need to basically test the hearing impairment. What is the how much loss of hearing is there? That is what a basic set of investigations. And then coming to the management, you need to investigate it. After the routine investigations, initially if at all there is discharge from the ear, the only role for a discharging ear is give a proper antibiotic ear drops and give some antihistaminic so that the discharge and the pus from the middle ear decreases. So after the pus and the discharge decreases, the next step is to go ahead with the surgery. Surgery, at least we need to wait for about 3 to 4 weeks after the discharge stops, or else if at all we do a procedure during discharge, the procedure generally gets failed. What procedure we do generally? In a tubotympanic type of a disease, the first procedure is, it's called the tympanoplasty. There are two approaches for a tympanoplasty. One is a post-oral approach, that is giving an incision from behind the ear, And what we routinely practice in a tubotympanic type of disease is recently we have started using an endoscopic approach using a cartilage, tragal cartilage or a conchal cartilage, and doing a tympanoplasty. It's called as an endoscopic cartilage tympanoplasty, and it's usually a scarless procedure. We don't give any incisions, and we don't use any sutures, and it's very compatible for the patients and very feasible for the patients, and it's almost like a daycare. So patients just come in the morning and just get discharged in the evening, and the results are pretty good. We can tell about the success rate of this procedure is about 97 to 98%, and ideally post procedure hearing will improve about 60 to 70%. That is one of the surgical options. Coming whenever the disease is aticoantral, then we need to get a HRCT, a CT, a radiological investigation called as a HRCT temporal bone, to know the disease extent, and then probably plan for a mastoidectomy followed by a tympanoplasty. Thank you.